Hey Crossroads, we're Jordan and Julie Kavanaugh, pastors of our K-6 ministries, and we thought we'd bring you this week's Connect from our backyard.
For the last little bit, we've been doing some front porch and backyard pop-ins with our families, and one of the things that we've noticed is that everybody these days is just out and about in their yards and neighborhoods.
Yeah, in fact, we were out doing a little pop-in this last week, and it was crazy because it was like swarming outside. You had a Gen X couple sitting on their deck drinking coffee. There was a young family down over here hanging out in their yard. There were grandparents walking in the back green space, and tons of kids running around outside playing outdoor hockey or Fort Bill or whatever. They were just hanging out.
And the crazy thing is that normally we're all off in our little age sections. Kids are all at school together. Seniors or wherever seniors are. Everyone's off in their own little sections. And yet we're stuck in our own neighborhoods. And our neighborhoods are intergenerational. And the cool thing is that kids during COVID have a way of bringing people together. When we're out walking with our kids, it's kind of like having a cute little puppy. People just kind of swarm to us and they want to talk to us because they want to see our kids and they want to engage with them. And so kids are really an awesome way of bringing our neighborhoods together right now.
And part of that is because children break the ice. They don't quite understand the social distancing realities. And so you can talk to them and say, hey, remember, you got to be further apart from that kid when you're playing. And they remember for 2 seconds, and then you got to call them back over to put some hand sanitizer on, and then you send them back out. But they're breaking the ice in our communities and drawing families together. In fact, when we were at this place the other week, it was so interesting because these families were saying, we got to know this family and that family because our kids have been outside together. And so right now is probably one of the best times we have ever had for connecting with our neighbors.
And as a ministry, we're trying to do what we can to actually use that to our advantage and be able to put Sunday school resources in the hands or on the TVs of everybody in our community. And so we're trying to find ways to make our content really relevant to what's actually occurring in the lives of children today.
That's right. And so last week, we talked about and have been talking about over the last month is don't give up. And not wanting our kids to give up because things are hard right now, right? Like kids aren't going to school. Some of our kids have lost jobs. Some of them even had a teacher whose house burned down. And we're wanting to encourage our kids that even though COVID's happening and things are hard right now, that they shouldn't give up because Jesus is with us. And so in particular, we actually had some kids share some things of some reasons why they shouldn't give up. Check out this video.
If my mom, a nurse at the hospital, goes to work and is exposed to the virus, I won't be scared because God's story isn't finished yet.
Even though my mission trip to Haiti was canceled, I will not give up because the story is not over.
Even though my parents don't live together anymore, I won't give up because my story isn't finished yet.
And what's really interesting is the virus is impacting every kid differently. In fact, we had a family over for a backyard visit just recently, and the kid didn't actually say a whole lot. He was really, really quiet. And his parent was sharing with us as we were drinking a coffee together. She was sharing that he hadn't been out of the house yet. Over 6 weeks of time, he hadn't been out of the house because he was so afraid about the virus.
Yeah, and what we're really realizing is that our kids need outlets to be able to think about how they're processing and think about their emotions. So for the next month, we're going to talk about emotions, and we're going to use the life of David as an example of how we can wrestle with our emotions and what it looks like to bring our emotions to God during the season. So we're looking forward to that.
That's right. So it's really trying to teach kids what it looks like to be emotionally intelligent. Now, there's probably some of you adults who need some help with that too. So
feel free to check it out.
You might want to watch those videos as well. Hey, not only have we been trying to provide content that is relevant because of the virus, but we're trying to also be silly and engage kids well too. So, hey, maybe take a little look at some of these outtakes of our silliness.
Well,
It's been about a month now since we've all been cooped up in our houses with the same people.
Hey, can you pass me those chips? Come on.
Fine. Here's the chip.
Hey. You're making this place a mess.
Hey, this whole place was already a mess.
So why do we share these things with you? Why aren't we showing you silly clips and talking about content? The reason why is because we're really hoping that during this time that you maybe know some kids or you see kids out in your neighborhood, and we want you to be thinking through the lens of a kid that this is a pretty disruptive time for them, and we are creating some great content that isn't just a silly YouTube video, but something that might actually give them hope and a foundation during this time.
So 3 things we'd ask of you to be thinking about this week. The first is this: if you haven't yet, take time to build community in your own neighborhood. And as you do, if you're a person who maybe has been a little too nervous to ever invite somebody to watch Crossroads Church online, why don't you take this opportunity? If there's some kids out and about, invite the kids to watch Sunday school. Parents are always looking for more resources or things that might be encouraging to their kids in this season. So feel free to have them check out our links. And the last is this:
We're really hoping that as you watch kids out and about, whether it's in their backyards playing or you're out for a walk, that you take a moment this week just to pay attention to children and pray for them. Pray for them that during a season that's really hard, that none of us have ever experienced before, that the pressure of that season would cause kids to ask questions about God and that they would be drawn to Jesus.
That's right. So thanks for listening and thanks for watching us this week. And we hope you'll take this challenge and pray for some kids this week.